a town where history and mystery collide. Long before it became a tourist destination, this sacred land was revered by indigenous tribes for its healing mineral springs. In the 1800s, settlers echoed these beliefs, turning the area into a health resort. But at the heart of its past lies the haunting tale of Emma Crawford, a young woman in search of a cure, whose ghostly legacy still lingers on. Join us as we uncover the vibrant story of Manitou Springs, where the past and present merge in a celebration of culture, nature, and mystery. Dr. Irwin James, the first American to summit Pikes Peak, was also the first Westerner to discover the area's mineral springs. His accounts inspired General William J. Palmer and Dr. William A. Bell, and they quickly recognized its potential as an ideal resort town.
They started a resort here in Manitou called Manitou. Prior to that, the French had named this valley La Font Boel, or the Boiling Fountain. Manitou was born as a resort and spa spot for Europeans and Easterners alike, and was well attended and visited throughout the early 1800s. At this time, the bottling of the Manitou mineral water started happening. You can see to my right a representation of a bottle. This was once covering what was called the Ute Gusher and sprayed water some 14, 15 feet in the air due to its hydraulic pressure, and had since been disposed of and is now being displayed here in the Heritage Center.
The town's fresh mountain air and healing mineral waters attracted visitors from all over. The springs, long considered sacred by indigenous tribes like the Ute, Cheyenne, and Arapaho, were believed to have spiritual and medical properties. These tribes held the waters in high esteem, and settlers adopted these beliefs, promoting the springs as a remedy for all ailments. Today, Manitou Springs is a lively town known for its wellness culture and rich history. Visitors come to experience the famous mineral springs, shop at local boutiques, explore art galleries, and participate in seasonal festivals and events. The town has modernized. It still honors its past, and no story embodies this connection more than that of Emma Crawford.
Emma was the younger of the two sisters, and she was quite ill. And over the years, she died about 1891. One of the peaks on the south side of Manitou is called Iron Mountain. And it was part of a hiking trail that went from Manitou to the top of Pikes Peak that they had used to watch the construction of the railroad. And she liked that spot. So she decided that's where she wanted to be buried. So when she died, they buried her in a low spot just next to the summit on Iron Mountain, because the summit didn't have enough room on it for a grave.
He got together a crew of pallbearers and grave diggers. They dug their grave through the granite on top of Red Mountain and carried her body in a pine coffin to the very summit of that mountain, where they proceeded to bury her. The first burial site was located on the north end, or north side of the summit of Red Mountain. And you can see where that was located in this photograph here. This is a contemporary shot that was photographed about 10 years ago. The north end is roughly here, and it coincides with this area here shown on the vintage photograph of the summit of Red Mountain.
Several years later, there came a rainstorm, and it washed the grave away. And Emma Crawford's bones were washed down the mountain. And some young boys from Manitou discovered some bones. And they had no idea what they were, because they didn't know about the grave. And they took them home, and the parents wanted to know where they came from. And they took them to where they found them, and sure enough, they looked around and eventually came up with a human skull. So the next challenge was, who did this skull belong to? And then the story came out about Emma Crawford being buried up on the mountain, and the fact that it washed down the mountain, and that was Emma Crawford. So the actual name of the coffin race is the Emma Crawford coffin race.
In honor of Emma Crawford, Manitou Springs hosts one of its most beloved and quirky events, the Emma Crawford Coffin Race.
Every year in Manitou Springs, we have something called the Emma Crawford Coffin Races. Emma Crawford Coffin Races are held on the last weekend before Halloween each year, and it's a massive event. We have close to 10,000 people attend this event every year, and during this event, we have up to maybe 60 to 70 coffin teams racing against each other down Manitou Avenue. And it's kind of interesting how this all transpired. The coffin races themselves have been going on for 30 years.
While the event is lighthearted and playful, it keeps Emma's memory alive and shows the town's ability to embrace both its history and its sense of humor. Emma's story is tied to the town's famous mineral spring.
But this Emma Crawford story has been going on since about 1889. In 1889, Emma Crawford moved here to Manitou Springs with her mother and her sister for the purpose of recuperating from tuberculosis, which was a dreaded lung disease back in the day. People believe that the mountain air and the water of Manitou Springs, the mineral waters of Manitou Springs, were conducive for the cure of tuberculosis.
Though the mineral waters couldn't save Emma, they remain an important part of the town's heritage. In the early days, each spring was believed to have a distinct healing property based on its mineral content. As the town grew, many springs were capped and preserved for public use. Today, the Manitou Springs Foundation maintains several public fountains where visitors can sample the waters, preserving the town's original identity as a place of wellness and rejuvenation. The natural mineral springs in Manitou Springs, Colorado, have both fascinating geological background and an important place in local history.
This water is isolated by these geological events, and as the water travels through the karst aquifer, it collects minerals that are deposited in the limestone, and when it rises to the surface, it is under the influence of deep carbon dioxide gases generated from 30 miles in the earth. As these waters rise to the surface, it gives each one of our springs a unique flavor due to its mineral content. It is very interesting how you can walk through downtown Manitou Springs, where 5 of our springs are located, all within a 500 feet distance of each other, and all of them taste different.
The Manitou Springs Foundation, a volunteer-run nonprofit organization, has helped restore and protect many of the springs so they can continue to be enjoyed for generations to come. Today, Manitou Springs is home to 8 main springs: 7 Minute Springs, Cheyenne Spring, Iron Spring Geyser, Navajo Springs, Shojun Springs, Stratton Spring, Twin Spring, Wheeler Spring. Together, these springs reflect the history, culture, and natural beauty that make Manitou Springs such a unique and memorable place.
The Manitou Springs Mineral Springs Foundation monitors the wells of the Mineral Springs aquifer in conjunction with the U.S. Geological Survey. We do monthly testing and quarterly testing of water levels, intake, and mineral content, and also the purity and safety of the water.
Spring water over by Patsy's and Flying Eagle tastes like soda water. A lot of people think it tastes gross, but I think it tastes wonderful.
The Manitou Incline, a well-known hiking trail in Manitou Springs, offers a steep climb and stunning views of the surrounding area.
I think it was actually built in 1907, and it was initially constructed for a hydroelectric plant and water supply that they were using for the nearby city of Colorado Springs. And then they realized, hey, this could be a really cool tourist attraction, and it kind of morphed into that later.
These cars were able to accommodate anywhere from 20 to 30 guests, and as you can see, this is a car descending from the upper pavilion, which was located at the top of Mount Manitou. These grades probably ran about 40 to 45, 50% or so. They were somewhat steep, but they were safe by any means.
It was popular because the trains from the Manitou Cog Station go up, like originally, 3 times a day. So the time it took to go up and come back Those people who were waiting to ride on the train had to find something to do. So the ride on the incline only took about an hour. So they could go ride on the incline and then come back and ride the cog railway.
While at the top of the incline, when it was still used as an amusement ride, there were several destinations at the top of the incline, including the Shorty Ralph observation area. There was another observation area known as Lookout Rock, shown here, and there also was Eagles Point. And so all these destinations were used for, viewing the surrounding terrain, as well as providing picnic areas for all the guests.
Then there was this whole thing about safety. I think that they had to remove that as a tourist attraction. And then it became, it closed for a while, and then I think they closed it in 1990, I want to say, and hikers were really wanting to pursue it as a hike to see all the city of Colorado Springs and beyond.
And locals began using them as an informal hiking trail, even though it was technically illegal. The trail, which ascends nearly 2,000 feet, contains 2,768 steps, quickly gained recognition as one of the most challenging hikes in Colorado. People from all walks of life, including runners, military members, Olympic athletes, and casual hikers, come to test their strength and endurance. In 2013, after a partnership between public and private groups, the trail was officially legalized and properly maintained, making it a popular and legitimate destination for fitness enthusiasts from around the world.
I moved here to Colorado Springs area in the mid-1990s. My passion to move out here was a motivation that came from my college track coach. When I did move out here, I immediately got involved in the running community, and lots of crazy runners would run up it to train for an event, which is where they would have a race in August. They still do this. I immediately started training for that, and I used the incline as part of my training regime.
Today, the Manitou Incline stands as a significant landmark, blending its historic origins with its current status as one of the most demanding hikes in the region.
The incline was a huge part of my training to do the Pikes Peak Ascent. I've done it twice, and I got my husband to do it with me once, and it's a really fun thing to share with somebody, whether it be for training or just recreation.
Manitou has always been about being healthy, and hopefully that's what'll continue.
As we conclude the story of Manitou Springs, we see a place where history, mystery, and nature intertwine. From the sacred healing waters once revered by indigenous tribes to the enduring legend of Emma Crawford, whose spirit still haunts the town, this community seamlessly blends the past with the present. Today, Manitou Springs is a thriving town that celebrates rich history with embracing modern visitors. Whether you're exploring the mineral springs, hiking Red Mountain, or participating in the quirky Emma Crawford coffin races, the town offers endless stories waiting to be uncovered. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time and legend. Manitou Springs, where history and mystery meet.